Our topic of discussion is nonlinear control, or rather second order nonlinear system analysis. Now, obvious question that comes in our mind: what is so special in second order system or two-dimensional system that we uh, want to consider it, or we want to allocate a separate lecture to it, and we want to give some more importance to it? The very obvious answer that as the number of state variables of second order system is always limited to 2, therefore you can always capture the motion. Like, you, if you get any state variable, say you just take, like you take x1, you take x2, and suppose you have an initial point x naught from which the system, with time the system can execute a motion. If system is a stable system, then it will move towards your origin, or if it is not, then it will move away from the origin. But whatever be the case, you can always capture the motion of the state trajectories, the actual state trajectory on your state plane, right? So that is the salient advantage of this system. Now, obvious one question that may comes in our mind, that then why it is only the first order case, right? Why not it is the second order? So the obvious answer here is that in case of first order system, if why not second order? The obvious answer is that here, in case of second order system, you can, the second order system, you can visualize some kind of oscillation for different parameter setting. But first order system, whether unstable or stable, you can't see any kind of oscillation. It is kind of monotonically decreasing or monotonically increasing curve. So that is why our second order system earns a special respect in this field of control engineering, because it is very easy to understand and visualize. And once we get the complete insight from second order system, then we can proceed. Basically, the goal of this chapter is to means discuss different second order system, and then we will try to understand that how this lesson can, we can find this lesson useful for analyzing higher order system. All right. So let us move to the next slide. Okay. Okay. So any nonlinear system, as we know, we can represent it by state equation, like state equation as shown here. It is x1 dot is equal to f1 x, and x2 dot is equal to f2 x. Now, if you take the, if you try to find out that dx2 by dx1, that dx2 by dx1 will give you what? That dx2 by dx1 will give you the slope of your state trajectory on a plane. Like in the next slide, we will see that it is also called a vector. Like I told you in my first lecture that any point in a uh, vector space is a vector, like 3 comma 2 is a vector, 1 comma 1 is a vector. Now, how one can transit from 1 comma 1 to 3 comma 2, that is the motion. Now, what type of motion it can execute? It can execute through a straight line, through any other line. Like here we are showing it, but there is no harm if it wants to travel in some this way. Like if it wants, let me show you, just a minute. Yeah, like if it wants to travel here in this path. So which path it will follow, basically it is governed by your system equation. However, one thing is clear, that your dx2 by dx1, that always governs the slope. So here we are taking dx2, dx1 we are getting, it's just a linear, means a straight line. That is why we are getting what? We are getting your dx1 is 2, 3 minus 1, 2, and dx2 is equal to 1. That is half, and that is means quite well understood. But in some other case, when like here it is a straight line, so you are taking straight difference you can take. But if it is a curved line like this, like then you will have no other choice other than finding out the small dx1 2 by dx1, and that will give you at every instance, that will at any particular point, if you evaluate dx2 by dx1, they will give you the slope of the trajectory, and accordingly you can from starting from your initial point you can reach to the final point, right? Now here it is somewhat complicated example. Let us take it very seriously. Say here we are having something is called a face portrait, right? So what is the governing equation? The governing equation is x1 dot is equal to x2, x2 dot is equal to minus sine x1. Now let me draw two lines here. One is what? One indicates a line that is x1 is equal to 0, and another one indicates a line on which x2 is equal to 0. So on this particular line, what is the slope? It is minus sine x1 by x2. So whenever you are on that your horizontal line, your x2 is equal to 0. So slope is either you are getting minus 90 degree orientation or plus 90 degree orientation. When you are at the right half of the plane, then your x1 is positive. So sine x1 is giving you some positive value. So minus 90 degree. That is why you can see that the trajectory arrows are perfectly in downward direction. All the arrows are in downward direction, right? Now basically all these were important in the earlier stage when we were quite interested to construct an approximate diagram of our circuit. It was or our system, not circuit, it was for our system. It was known as phase plane diagrams. So in this phase plane diagram, people used to means take this approximate value of dx2 by dx1 at a regular interval, and they could able to construct a curve that is called also the method of isocline. Isocline means the lines on which your slope remains constant. So here if you draw a line like any line, let me show you one isocline. If I draw a line like this, on which x1 is equal to 0, right, on which x1 is equal to 0. So every line or every means on this particular line, whichever is crossing, all the means curves at that particular point is having slope is equal to 0. So that line, we can consider that line as a isocline. That means on which every line is having equal inclination or identical inclination. So that is the notion of isocline. However, nowadays isocline method is not that very important for us. Rather, we would like to means advance it. So what is the concept nowadays we practice instead of considering all these numerical issues? That here you can find out any book, but nowadays with advent of or software engineering and with powerful computational tools like MATLAB, Simulink, we can easily simulate. So there is no need of means doing it just to show that you are very sincere and you can draw a very smooth curve. That is not required. Now let us move to the second part. This is very important. This is one is the qualitative behavior of our linear system. Like you have a system x dot is equal to ax. Now that is a 2 cross 2 system. Now if A has distinct eigenvalues, then when sir will discuss your in your linear system theory, you will see that if your x is x, then the solution of the system can be written as, if you consider it is a force free or acting with a fixed input, you can write its solution like so. This is the initial and this is final, and EAT is known as the state transition matrix that governs us how the initial state would be would be able to reach to our final state at time t. So that now one thing what we can do is that if A is not diagonal, then computation of EAT can be a bit hectic, but one easy technique we can apply, that is to diagonalize A by using a modal matrix. In modal matrix we write it like so. What is the essence of this defining this modal matrix is that you can define a new set of state vector like z is equal to mx. Then what will happen, your z dot will be mx dot will be, or you can write it like, sorry, just a minute. You can write x is equal to mz. So what happened to x dot is equal to ax. Now you replace, M is a constant matrix that contains all the eigenvectors of your A matrix. So basically M is the modal matrix of A, and now you define state transformation in such a manner that your present physical state x is defined as is equal to mz. Now this x dot is equal to x, that is what is your system equation. We are not considering this plus bu part. Plus bu we are not considering here for the present analysis. So if x dot is equal to x, you can write it like what? Mz dot is equal to amz, and that will lead you z dot is equal to M inverse AMZ. This M inverse AM is a diagonal matrix. So what you will get if you try to find out the solution in the Z plane, then ZP will be very easy to find. It will be like this what is written by JR. You will get it like it will have distinct eigenvalues and you can easily find out the solution. So this is a little mathematics, and Professor Shamant will always teach you all this in his linear system theory class. But without wasting much time, what we can understand that this linear transformation is possible, and we can have a new state variable, and from that new state variable we can again get back our original state variable, because the two transformation like from x to z and z to x both are possible, and that is how we can get we can represent our system in diagonal form. Now here these are a few important things that we need to study, like we have to study or understand the qualitative nature of the system. Like instead of finding out the exact path of the system, we are interested in finding out that if my two look suppose if someone is having a transfer function like this, sorry, all these s should be small letter, just not so much adequate with this use of print tablet, so that appears as a large s or capital S, but s should not be capital. Anyway, so s indicates Laplace transform. So what is the location of pole? It is -5 -3, and what we know that location of pole is the location of eigenvalue. So if location of pole is equal to location of eigenvalue, then obviously it is very clear that we are having a system with two distinct eigenvalues. Now, if we take another system like so we are having now two different systems with different pole locations, but one similarity that we can find or we can means find common between the two systems, that both of the systems are having all their roots to the left half of S plane, and all the roots are having positive real part, no imaginary part, only no sorry negative real part and no imaginary part. So that is very important to note. Now what we are trying, that if we can figure out nature of state plane movement in for one system, like suppose 4s plus 4 by s plus 5 by s plus 3, then just by using our intuitiveness and common understanding, we can also anticipate the motion of state trajectories or state trajectories, possible state trajectories for the second system. So that is the essence of analyzing this quantitative behavior. So when the both the real roots are or eigenvalues are real, then the shape of the phase portrait depends on the sign of lambda 1, lambda 2. Like if you want to understand this in diagonal form, what you will have like this z1t. So with respect to time, if you plot, sorry, with respect to time, if you plot, suppose lambda 1 is equal to -2, lambda 2 is equal to -1. So in that case, suppose your z10 is some value you are having at positive, but due to that lambda 1 is equal to -2, what it will have? It will decay at a very faster rate. And if you have another one, that lambda 2 z2, that is having lambda 2 is equal to minus 1, say z2 is this, there is no necessary that z1 and z2 need to be positive. They can be any arbitrary value. Now z2, what you will observe, z2 trajectory, here both we are plotting with respect to time. So z2 trajectory, you will see that it is also moving towards your axis, but at a slower pace. So if we try to plot them or in a z1 z2 plane, so our initial point is some positive value of z1 and some negative value of z2, so it is like here. Now what we are observing, that z1 is having a very faster rate of change, but z2 is slowly moving towards 0. Both are moving towards origin, or their final value is 0. So both of them are moving towards 0, but z1 at a faster pace and z2 at a slower pace. So what will happen here, we will observe that it will be moving like this. Like a very sharp change for Z1, but on means slightly slower change for Z2. And if we have two, or both are having, then we can also have a straight line. And if we alter, like if we had lambda 1 is equal to 1 and lambda 2 is equal to minus 2 and lambda 1 is equal to minus 1, then what we will get? We will get something here. See, lambda 2 will decay at a very faster rate, so you will have a trajectory like this. So I hope you now can feel some, you are getting the essence of this analysis. Now here, this is just the mathematics, it's very easy to understand and do, and this is the, sorry, now what would happen if one is positive and another one is negative? Then we will get, sorry, if both are positive, then we will get stable node. This is the diagram of stable node, and if we have both of them are negative, sorry, positive, then we will have unstable node. Or even if we have one is means like, let me give you one example, like one is positive and another one is negative, then we will have saddle point. That is also very interesting. This is the diagram of stable node, this is the diagram of unstable node. Now here this is called saddle. So one eigenvalue is exhibiting, or one state is will exhibit a tendency to move towards your origin, and another state will try to move away from the origin. So finally, what type of state trajectory you will, or phase plane you will get in the plane? That is like this, where this one, when you are, suppose if you have like this trajectory, this is indicating what? Like if you have lambda 1 greater than 0 and lambda 2 less than 0. So with time what will happen? As lambda 2 is responsible for means controlling the shape of Z2, with increasing time it will try to make Z2 or Z2 0. But as lambda 1 is greater than 0, what it will try to do? with time it will try to push Z1 away from the origin. Now what will happen that suppose at any time point you start, suppose this is your initial point. Now if you move in forward time, you will means observe this, and if you try to move in the backward time, like if you proceed in this way, here what you will get, here it will be completely different, because that for negative time your e to the power lambda 1 t is appearing as a negative power to an exponential. So it will try to shrink the movement of Z1, or try to move, means converge Z1 towards your origin, and when you will move in that uh, but Z2 lambda 2 is already negative. Now if you multiply it with a negative time, then you will get exponential to the power lambda 2 t will be a positive number. So you will get a movement along Z2 axis, that is trying to make Z2 away, or means push Z2 away from the origin, right? So this is our saddle point. Now the interesting case is that when we will have complex eigenvalues. So in complex eigenvalue, this is very interesting case that we can have two different kinds of complex eigenvalue. One is having positive real part, another one is having negative real part. Achha, eigenvalue complex eigenvalue, can they appear means can they appear in any other form than that of complex conjugate? Why they are obliged to be in that complex conjugate form? I would like to hear it from you in our next discussion session, or at any time you want to share or you want to discuss. So in case of complex eigenvalue, you can have negative real part, you can have positive real part, or you can have real part is equal to 0. Now see, this is the two complex. Now we are considering first with the negative real part is equal to 0, then the negative real part greater than the real part greater than 0, and then the real part is equal to 0. So what we will get here, this is very interesting, try to understand this. Suppose your eigenvalues are two eigenvalues are having negative real part, then what will happen? Due to that imaginary part, they will oscillate. So both of your state trajectory will exhibit some oscillatory motion. Let me give you one example. Like if you have then see, if we make it 0, the first part, then due to this plus minus 4j, what we will have, that is shown here, it is the center. Now in center, you can see here, the center alpha is equal to 0. What about this? Here it is a stable focus. In stable focus, it is like the this when we are having negative real part for our complex conjugate poles, the trajectory will experience a converging nature, or will exhibit a converging nature, or will experience a force, attracting force towards the origin. So they will shrink down But what about the other? Like here, if we consider like um, what to say that mm, like this plus minus 4j, they are they will that is why I asked you the question that what is the physical interpretation of poles and zeros. So if you once understand, then you will understand that they will execute a oscillatory motion. But that oscillatory motion, then one question will come like this is stable focus, sorry, this is stable focus, this one is stable focus, both are stable focus. Now the question is that how it will shape, like uh, instead of having this shape, can it have a shape like this, like it is having a motion in your counterclockwise direction, can it have a motion in this direction? How to determine that what would be the nature of the trajectory, whether they will follow clockwise motion or counterclockwise motion, how to determine that? I want you to please think about it, otherwise it is not possible. Like here we discuss both the case, both are executing counterclockwise motion, one is getting stable, another one is getting. So, what is the reason? Like, is it always counterclockwise, or we can have some logic? We have to figure it out, right? Now, here we will study that effect of perturbation. Actually, after this one lecture will be, you can expect from Professor Maiti. I will request him to give you a special guest lecture because I am not an expert of bifurcation chaos on this field. I do not know all this. So he will come and he will deliver a dedicated lecture on those bifurcation chaos and all these things. So here, what is the effect of perturbation? Like if you have a face portrait and you just slightly give or introduce a perturbation, then whether your face portrait will remain in that same form or there is a chance that it will deviate. Like a node, a saddle, or a focus, all these are structurally stable. Like even if you slightly vary your parameter, then there will be no such case that is that can destroy the basic nature of your face portrait. But in case of center, center is a kind of not structurally stable. Like if you infuse the slightest perturbation, then center either takes a shape of stable focus or unstable focus. So that is why center is not stable. You can visualize like if you want to obtain LC circuit, suppose you are having a variable LC circuit, variable parameter LC circuit, you can tune it to your supply frequency to means operate at their resonant frequency, means at supply frequency. So it is a very minute tuning of L and C parameters are required. Once you make a slightest deviation from that parameter, they will lose the resonating, means they will deviate from the resonating condition. You can visualize this center as a, like it is a resonating condition. It is not resonating, but in that way you can understand this, right? Now here we'll try to understand that this is all about linear system. Now we'll try to understand that what would happen to the nonlinear system when we'll try to, means we will analyze them near an equilibrium point. Like if we analyze them in the vicinity of the equilibrium point, uh, correspondingly the equilibrium point of the linear system like stable node, unstable node, saddle focus, unstable focus, or center. So can we determine the type of equilibrium point a nonlinear system by linearization? This is also known as Jacobian linearization. What we do, let this P1, P2 be an equilibrium point of the system. What is the definition of equilibrium point? I have already discussed in my second video, where your state motion sits like all this at P1, P2, your F1 and F2 both will become 0. So, like in my second video, I mm, ended up with a proof. So if you follow that proof, you will also find that we can always expand this in form of Taylor series, like this F1 P1 P2 plus A1 1 X1 minus, when your states are very close to that P1 P2, then we can have this Taylor series approximation, and then the last two terms HOT are the higher order terms. You can compare it with the remainder term of our last video. So what is happening here also, that HOT as having a property that in I gave a more formal definition in my second video, that if norm of your present state and this equilibrium, the norm between your present state and your equilibrium state tends to 0, then this HOT or higher order terms tends to 0 at a very faster rate. So if you take something like HOT by the norms and allow the norms tends to 0, then you will get 0. What I am trying to say, I have already mentioned in my second video. If you have watched it, like sorry, not this is what I have discussed in my second video, and I also claiming here. So what you will get that your nonlinear system can be approximated like a linear system with uh, your linear system A matrix, second order linear system A matrix. Generally, it contains four elements. A is 2 cross 2. So by means of this Jacobian linearization, we can find it out. Here, all these partial derivatives should be evaluated at our equilibrium point. And once doing this linearization, what we will find, that will govern us the nature of our equilibrium point. Now, this is a summary that for if lambda 1, lambda 2 both are less than 0, then it is stable node. If lambda 2, lambda 1 is greater than 0, then it's unstable node. If 1 is less than 0, another one is greater than 0, then it is saddle. Then if uh, it is having a negative real part and complex conjugate, then it is stable focus. If it is having positive real part and complex conjugate, then it is unstable focus. If it is having only conjugate imaginary pair, then it is, and real part is equal to 0, then it is point where interestingly you can't linearize. Why so? Think about it, that can't we linearize, or what would happen if after linearization, if we see that we are having this, why we are getting these results? So here is one example. Let us try to solve this. Hopefully this will help you to clear your understanding. This is an example, uh, like x1 dot is equal to this second part, sorry, the second part is non-linear, both here is non-linear, so we have to consider that. Now here we are doing that del f del x, and what we are getting, our del f del x is equal to 0 minus 1 1 0. So what we are getting, that it is forming a stable focus when it all depends on the parameter mu. Like if you make mu originally it is like it is having a tendency of your focus when mu greater than 0 and unstable focus when mu less than 0, right? So here for saddle also you can generate the small stable and unstable trajectories. Okay. Now, if you want, I can also give you some example, and you can also verify that the multiple equilibrium and also the two equilibrium of two different nature for nonlinear system. I can also give you one example that, sorry. This is an example of your linear simple harmonic pendulum. Now, what is the equilibrium point? First of all, we will have multiple equilibrium point. For making x1 dot is equal to 0, you can understand you will get x2 is equal to 0. However, for making x2 dot is equal to 0, that will lead you all the point where sine x1 is equal to 0. And that means sine x1 is equal to 0. It implies you are having x1 for any value of x1 in pi, where n is any natural number 0 1 2, you are having this. So for physical span, if we consider the pendulum, then the possible value of n is 0 1. If you make n is equal to 2, then also it will become n is equal to 0, so there is no point. N is equal to 0 and 1. So what are the equilibrium points we are getting? The equilibrium points are x1 dot 0 x, sorry, not x1 dot, rather x1 0, x2 0. This is one equilibrium point. Another equilibrium point is x1 pi, x2 0, right? So this is two equilibrium point. Now if you do that del f del x thing, then what you will get? The first entry should be del of x2 by del x1, so it is 0, then it is 1, then here it will be del of minus g by l sin x1 by del x1, so that will give you minus g by l cos x1, and again it will be del of minus g by l sin x1 with respect to del x2, so it will give you 0. Now this is our linearized one. Now you have to evaluate it with respect to both this eigenvalue, no sorry, both this equilibrium point. One is this, another one is this. So let me make it clear. You are getting a linearized structure like, sorry, 0 1 minus g by l cos x1 0. Now when you are having this, like when you are having x1 is equal to 0, then what will happen? You are having uh, so here you are getting this. So at the so again, one question it may comes in your mind that we have also wrote that it is linearization fails for unstable, and now I am also doing it, and neither I am wrong nor this statement is wrong. So which one is wrong? Because if you claim that I am wrong, I can prove that I am not wrong. How? Let me tell you. We are taking 0 0, that is the vertical downward position of a simple pendulum, and that is oscillating with a frequency of root under g by l, that is our 12th standard physics, and we are getting the same oscillating frequency here. So you can't argue that I am wrong, because I can corroborate my findings with your basic physics understanding. And anyway, so I leave you with this question. And another equilibrium point, what would be that? Another equilibrium point is 0, 1 minus d by l. Now if you put cos, then cos pi, then cos pi will give you 1, then it will become. So in that case, your lambda 1, you may get a situation like this. So that is an unstable focus, unstable point, and that is quite obvious that a pendulum cannot stand on its vertical upright position. It is very unstable. So that is all for today's lecture. Now I have left I'm giving you a few questions. You have to find it out, the answer. Uh, Although this phase plane or this understanding, at least the way I will deliver the lecture, and also means it is very easy and intuitive, and you will not find much problem. At this initial stage, you may find it a bit problematic, because you people are getting linear and non-linear system together. I wish that it would be like first you take a full course on linear system, and then you come to me for studying non-linear system. But unfortunately, it is not the case. But I hope you will not face much trouble here. So uh, with that, I'm completing this, and there are another few striking nonlinear phenomena like bifurcation, chaos. So I would like to invite Professor Maiti to give a dedicated lecture on those topics. Oh, what is the problem? It is not getting